welcome back to another episode of the Ready Set podcast. My name's Ricky.
My name's Angus.
I'm Derek. And, today I was just playing video games last night and I just realized there's been so much negative news about a lot of like gaming and like recently released games lately that I was thinking it's changed so much from when we were kids.
What grinds your gears, Derek?
It's early access gaming is what they call it now, right?
Yeah,
like games in beta or whatever. You know what really makes me mad is developers or whatever, like on Steam, and they're charging you to play a game that is in beta. Like it's not fully released. They're still testing things. Like sometimes the server's not working or whatever, or there's like huge glitches, and you're still expected to pay like $30 for a freaking game.
But you're helping the developers make the game, and they're gonna take your input and implement to the game. Oh. So basically, you're working for free.
Oh
no, you pay them.
Yeah, you're paying them.
You pay them.
It used to be them paying for beta testers, no?
Yeah, I guess it's just because of the budget, and everyone's very ambitious with their ideas. But nowadays games are all about. So I think the biggest thing that people really hate is that you're paying full price for a game which is just a base game, which is not even it's an incomplete game.
Yeah.
And there's DLCs, or they follow up with like season pass or whatever, just to kind of give you more stuff which is supposed to be in the full game
to begin with. Yeah,
but they couldn't make it through. They can't put it in due to budget or timing, which is a thing, because like I work in the game industry, and in the past couple of games, there's like a plan, right? We do the base game, and then just because we couldn't fit everything in that timeline, we add that into the DLC or further updates, and it's just because we don't have time. That's why they do it. It doesn't mean I support it. Because if I was to buy, games are expensive. It's like $100.
So expensive.
Yeah,
it's like $100, right?
There used to be like when we were kids,
50,
$60, and then that would be like the tip of it.
90, 100. That's like a base game. You want like the collector's edition or deluxe edition? That's like 130, even $200.
What?
For a collector's? Yeah.
Wait. How much was that Harry Potter that you bought?
It's like $90.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and like one of the things I really hate is that
it was $100.
Oh shit.
I'm okay with DLCs. Okay, like that's fine, but if it's just for a base game and then you make the DLC basically the same cost as the base game or even more, that's when it starts really pissing me off, because I'm like, this is an add-on to a game that you already own. It shouldn't be. It's not like it's a whole other game itself. So why are you guys charging the equivalent of the game or even more for it?
Yeah.
Right. And like, I understand people work hard. The companies work hard for it sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's more like when you make a complete game, it should be there, and then the DLC should be an optional thing. It shouldn't be like you have to pay to complete the story.
Yeah,
you're like,
dude. Bro, I hate games like that.
It's always been optional, no? Like, are there games that
okay.
you to?
So I think there's a couple games out there where you have to pay. What's that scary game? The one that's similar to Dead Space. The one you told me to get.
Phantasm or
no, Protocol something.
Yeah, the one that's supposed to be similar to Dead Space, right?
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it.
Let me search it up. Okay, my friend worked on it. I don't think he's at that company anymore. So,
so it's okay. I can trash on it.
Protocol, scary game. Hold on. Talk among yourselves. Callisto. Is it Callisto? Callisto? That?
Yeah, the Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So this game, I really want to get it.
Wait, how much is this game?
So right now it's on sale. Okay. It's $40. It has been on sale for a couple of weeks actually.
Oh, nice.
And I'm really debating if I want to get it. Graphics, amazing. Sound design, my friend there, Derek, did a great job. Crazy stuff. Like I think it's an indie studio. Like they made, or maybe indie studio. I'm not too sure. But the quality is really high. But the gameplay, kind of crappy. It's not that great. feel a bit clunky. Of course, Dead Space is way better.
Mhm.
But I was, before I buy stuff, I always like to justify. I look at the reviews. I went on Reddit. I did a bunch of research, and apparently, for you to finish the story, you have to buy the DLC.
Exactly.
And I was like,
Scammers.
to complete the story, like the ending will still finish the story, but it feels incomplete because the DLC actually finishes the rest of the story. And I was like, bro, you buy a game, you're so expected to finish the story. You're not supposed to buy the DLC. I don't know.
I remember when the DLCs used to be just like, a new costume or something.
Yeah.
Like
Or
Yeah.
expansion.
It's expansion.
Yeah, it's expansion to the story.
Yeah.
So basically, the story ended, and that was fine. But the DLCs used to be there's a
plus.
new storyline,
Or a
like
side-
a side
side story,
storyline.
yeah.
That added to the story that made it more immersive.
Like StarCraft.
Yeah, like-
back in the
Right,
day, you got the base game StarCraft,
Yeah.
and then you had the
Brood War
expansion.
and whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah.
or like Diablo 2 back in when Blizzard was still like the top company.
Yeah.
The Diablo 2 expansion.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it because the story was complete. It was just that there was like extra levels or extra bosses that you could get from the expansion that you couldn't. But like now it's like, just to complete the story that you need to buy the DLC. You're like, bro, what the hell?
I would boycott them just for that and hope like no other developers follow that. And
Yeah.
hope they like crash.
I think it's a huge thing because like EA, like everyone knows EA is, money hungry. And when they released the game Star Wars Battlefront 2, they made the loot boxes, right?
Oh yeah, that was
They
the
actually
biggest
it
thing.
got onto the news. Like it got so bad, it got to the news, and I think they were getting sued or something like that. There was a lawsuit
Yeah.
regarding that. In order to upgrade your character or for your character to have these skill points to make your character stronger, it's easier if you just buy it. So whoever buys these packs,
It's just like
it
pay to
makes-
win.
It's pay to win game. So people who just got in there and just, you already paid for the full game.
Yeah.
But if you're playing with other people who pay more money, they're going to beat your ass.
Yeah.
And it just feels very unfair. And it comes to the point, and it's like a lottery, right?
Yeah.
Loot box. So it doesn't mean you'll get the stuff
The
you
item?
need,
Oh,
Yeah.
the
I
items you
see.
want. So you're constantly paying on top. And it ain't cheap. Like, and they got, I think they were the most thumbs down on Reddit or something, to the point where the company actually pulled that out. So the boycott stuff does work.
Okay, thanks.
Um,
Good.
Yeah, it was such a big thing because I think they were the first to try it with a PvP style perspective. Because a lot of the gacha games where you do put your money into the game to get more chances at loot boxes, like before it was mostly just cosmetics. So
Yep.
you want to look cool in a different skin. So
Yeah.
like Valorant does that, League of Legends does that, Apex does
Team
that.
Fortress was like one of the first back then.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
with
yeah.
the
Buying
hats,
hats,
the
yeah.
hats, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that's fine. Cosmetics don't really change the game. Like
It just looks.
And most of your if you were versing another person, it was based on skill, right? But when they did it, they're like, well, yeah, someone who pays more obviously will beat you.
Right.
Then at that point, then that just makes it an unfair advantage.
Yeah,
right?
and what's the point of buying the game?
Right.
Yeah, and then at that point, it was like I think they crossed the boundary. That's why they were able to get sued. Where there's like because at that point you're sort of encouraging kids to gamble.
Yes, so that was the biggest thing
there.
is they encourage kids to. It's a form of gambling.
Yeah.
It's like lottery tickets,
Yeah.
basically.
CS:GO had that at one point too with the gun skins.
Oh no way!
Because their sites you could trade gun skins, and at a certain point gun skins were like worth a certain amount of money.
Oh,
And then people were like just constantly spending money to gamble on these skins so that they could do like trades or sells with them. And it was like I remember some kid spent like $50K or something like that on like CS:GO skins, and like without telling his parents, and then they found it on like the credit card charge. Yeah, and like in that case, it was also like a form of gambling too, because you never know what you get, and in most cases, the house still always wins because they get your money from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, problem is that it's all digital too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's like you got nothing physical
Nothing
from
physical.
it.
yeah, and here's the thing: if the developer chooses to shut down the game, you're basically all that money is just gone.
Actually, that reminds me of this thing that happened with World of Warcraft. I'm not like big on that game. I don't play that game, but
Yeah.
I heard there was like this thing where users on a server had like a really expensive mount. You know, like a mount.
Yeah.
So there's like some super crazy rare amount that people would sell to another person for like thousands of dollars. It's
Yeah.
just like it doesn't do anything. I think it's just like looks.
Yeah, cosmetics.
Yeah, and then so there was only like 3 or 4 of those, and it was worth a crazy amount of money. And it was just, like being sold and whatever until Blizzard. Does Blizzard own World of Warcraft?
Yes,
yeah.
Blizzard does. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they made that mount public for everybody to get.
Oh,
and
and
then it instantly like destroyed-
Devalued
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. And like I think people killed themselves for that.
Oh my
Really?
god.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Like for something that's not tangible,
Mm-hmm.
it's really insane how people will spend so much money on there, right?
Yeah.
It's just like my stance for those things is always free to play, and if it gets too grindy, I just quit the game.
Here's the thing: when it comes to free to play games, I never pay a cent, not once, because I'm cheap. But here's the thing: when it's free to play, I don't believe in paying money for it. But of course, you pay money, you get like these more XP, you get all these bonus stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like free to play games don't pay for it.
But the cute hat or the dresses or whatever.
I know. So okay, so this is like very old school Gunbound. Did you guys play that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gunbound, I remember back then, even Maple Story, the grind was hard. To make money was really hard. And,
Nexon point
Yeah.
coins or something.
yeah, and like Gunbound, in order to get like a costume, you have to play months.
Yeah.
And you have to get a suit that gives you more money
I remember that.
to
Yeah.
get more money.
the money
but
suits.
Yeah, the money suits. But the thing is that it's so hard to make that much money. And I got hacked like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
So I got so fed up to the point I created my own website to hack other people. So what I did was in order to hack, you just have to create a website and you say, oh, in 7 days or in a week or 2 weeks, I can get you this much amount of money. Just give me your password, give me your account.
Yeah.
You'll see the money on it after this amount of days.
Hammer.
So, because I got fed up, how many times I got scammed, I'm like, I'm gonna be the system. I'm not gonna beat the system. There's no way you can beat it. You just gotta join them.
Wow.
So I did that, and I went into Compound, and I start like messaging on like the global chat.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you want you want like 500,000 gold or whatever in like 7 days or 8 days? Click this website. You'll get it. And then, I messaged people privately, and it was like a freaking full-time job. I was messaging people, and I actually got
I think I
people's
got
accounts.
scammed, but I got scammed by
I
one
got
of those sites.
Yeah,
before too.
probably by me.
It's probably by you. I think I lost my account.
So basically, I get these people's account.
Yeah.
I log in. I see how much money they have, and I gift it to myself.
Wow.
I buy items. I gift it.
Those
Not
are the
proud of
days.
it, but at the same time, at such a young age, I was like, hey,
You're proud of it.
I'm proud of it. Because like the thing is that I'm beating the system. I'm getting hacked. Like,
Until they
sick of it.
report their account was stolen, and then they trace it back to your account, and then they ban your account.
Oh, it never happened.
Oh, what?
Nexon's customer service is very severely lacking.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
But I think that was the only time I actually did something like that. But Neopets, though. Have you guys played Neopets back in the day?
My Neopet
Briefly.
died.
Oh.
Because it was like because you have to feed it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know what Neopets is, it's a web browser game, it's like before there was Pokemon. I think it was before Pokemon. And you get to design your character, or not character, you design your pets.
Yeah.
And it has like,
Fighting abilities or
fighting
something
abilities like fire type, water type. This is like a horse. It's like a fluff ball. It's just like cute animals,
Yeah.
and design the color, and it's literally just like Pokemon. You use it to fight. It's a web browser game. You click on there was a thing called Money Tree. I always go there because it's people that donate items and you just grab it for free. Because I was cheap and I didn't know how to make money, so I just go to the Money Tree and try to grab as much items as I can. But after a while, I didn't play that game, and I came back. Instead of it dying, it said my Neopet says not yet born.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, how did that even happen?
So basically, it regressed back to an egg.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but I still see my pet, but it just says not yet born on it. I'm like, what? So
They probably did some sort of big update on there. That
I don't know. I think it's still around, Neopets.
No, I don't know how
Yeah.
many people play it anymore.
Hey, man. It's a real gem.
I mean, yeah, well, like I said, back then it was so much fun. Like the only good game I could say right now that has like just purely glowing positive reviews that's been out recently is the new Zelda, the Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh.
It's like an
Yes.
actual full complete game.
It is.
There are some slight bugs to it, of course, but like they don't expect you to pay extra for it. You just pay the one price and
It's
you
a
get
full
the
game.
full game for
Good
it.
on Nintendo, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is though the graphics is so.
Yeah, well, it's the
Like,
Switch. There's
It's
like it's a
Nintendo Switch.
limitation.
Yeah,
there,
like the
right?
graphics, it's a certain
Limited.
style, but as like as an artist and especially looking at the art style, you can see a lot of tiling, which is like a huge amateur, like a huge no. You'd never want that, especially when you look at the water. You can see like squares of like
Oh.
tiling. It repeats,
Oh.
repeating texture. You never want to see that in a game because it's a very amateur thing to do, but maybe because of limitations they had to do it. It's a big game.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a very big open world game.
Oh.
Like I think one of the biggest things was also well, Tears of the Kingdom was one thing is great. But I think a lot of what people were saying was that you know how there's so much cross platform now? Like from PlayStation to Xbox
To PC.
PC.
yeah.
And then they're saying that a lot of the games now, when they're ported to PC, it's so bad. Like anybody who wants to play a certain game on a PC, they've been having so many like I think what they call is porting issues.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason why there's porting issues, let me tell you, for people who hate and they realize they always say PC is the last system to be released, right?
Yeah.
It's just because whenever we make games, we always make it for the current gen. So PS5 and I guess now it's PS5 and Xbox. I don't know what's Xbox now. Series X or S.
So yeah.
Whatever the current gen is, we always create the game based off those specs. And you can't just porting just doesn't work. You can't just because the software is built differently. So there's always going to be issues when you port it into PC. There's going to be a lot of bugs. Things just are very different, especially when you're porting to the Switch. Switch is like a huge downgrade. And when I worked on FIFA, it was a huge ass downgrade. It's a pain in the ass trying to port everything from current gen to last gen. Because Nintendo Switch is last gen. The
Yeah.
graphics is like PS3
Mhm.
graphics. It's not PS4. Or now it's PS5, but it's just the graphic card on it, the hardware, the specs, everything is just lower end.
Right.
So in order for a current gen game to run on a Switch, it's very impossible unless you just lower the resolution on everything. You're basically cheating a lot of things and you're cutting a lot of things out.
But why is PC so
Jank.
difficult? Yeah, because PC's like specs are
Because
generally high.
everyone's computer is built differently,
Okay.
right? There's different hardwares. I don't know. I'm not a
Optimization
I'm not a
issues.
software engineer, but just from what I know, it's everyone's PC has a different graphic card, different like motherboard. It's just so many things you have
Drivers
to.
and stuff.
Yeah,
I see.
there's a lot of different specs you have to pay attention. Where like PS5 is the same thing, Xbox is kind of similar, right?
Yeah, because it's standard
it's
manufacturer produced.
Yeah,
right?
it's very standard and there's less issues. And we usually test it on PS5 and Xbox instead of on PC. We are built more towards for that. So that's why there's less issues on Xbox and or consoles.
that's why. So like I kept hearing that all the time with like the PC issues. because they were like the Last Survivor that just came out. They had some pretty big issues with PC related ones, but everybody on the consoles was like, "Yeah, this is fine." But like everyone on the PC was like, "Yo, I'm running at like 30 FPS."
Oh.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, okay."
Like, I know you talked about a really good game, but did you hear about the really bad game that came out?
No, which
Diablo?
one?
I heard that game was pretty good.
Oh, I just heard it's like server issues.
Oh, really?
Like people are lined up trying to get into the server, and it's like,
Oh, no way. I saw a Reddit post where a guy was playing, I think he was playing on the hardest difficulty, and if you disconnect the server, you get a permadeath. And that guy spent like 82 hours, 86 hours, and just because the server kicked him out, they thought he disconnected, so he killed his character after that many hours. It's crazy. But the bad game is the game called Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
You saw that one,
Yeah,
right?
I saw that.
It
trailer.
was okay. When I looked at the game, I was like, "There's no way this game was released." The art quality does look so bad.
no way.
Like it was made from a AAA studio, I think.
Oh, was it?
Oh, I think so. But the Gollum face of the character
It's like disproportionate, right?
his proportionate eyes are so freaking big. I guess Gollum's eyes are really big, but
Yeah.
like it's just
is it
horrendous.
supposed to be more like based off of the book rather than the movies?
I think it was. I have no idea.
No,
But-
like Gollum never got his own book. I don't think.
No,
yeah.
but like the way that they describe Gollum in the book, like physical features, is probably
No, but the thing is that if you're creating a Gollum character, you at least make it somewhat like the movie, right?
Yeah,
the movie
because they already portrayed him as
Yeah.
such, right?
and I think they got Weta to work on that.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, Weta's usually they work on all the big movies.
Yeah.
They work on Avatar.
I'm
they work on
surprised.
Power
Yeah,
Rangers.
it's like some quality.
Yeah, like their quality
Issues.
is like very high up there. So usually you want to kind of copy the same style or at least a somewhat the same look. But
Yeah.
Gollum looks very different. Looks like someone beat his face, so no one can really recognize. And then there was so many bugs. The gameplay sucks ass. It's a platformer, and the way the camera, everything, it was so bad to the point where the developers had to send out an apology letter.
oh,
And say,
Oh
like-
my gosh!
Yeah, it was like, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. You know, the usual stuff. And you say, like, well, you know, we're hardcore fans. We're very dedicated and we'll fix this up with like patches. And,
yeah.
you know, like
they probably charged like $90 for that game too.
it was a full game price.
Fuck.
And people are like, pay full price for this. And you're like, oh my God, like, this is like a $10 game.
Oh,
Yeah.
like indie.
Yeah, it's like indie, like it's something you pay $10 for, and people pay full price for it, and
Yeah.
it was so bad. And then someone loaded up. As soon as you load up the game crashed,
Oh.
and then you're like, I pay full price for this.
Was it it's not recent, but a good example was also like No Man's Sky or No Man's
No, so that game didn't do so well, in the beginning because
Yeah. It was like so many
Um,
issues, right?
who's the guy? I forgot his name, but he's the main developer, the director, I think, whoever's had the idea of this game, and he basically painted a picture in everyone's head like, you're gonna do all these stuff, you're gonna visit all these planets, unlimited.
Oh.
Like you can do basically anything. It was crazy, very ambitious, which is very good, but too ambitious to the point that in order to get that much stuff done, you have to make sure that your engine can really handle it.
Mhm.
And usually if you can't, you really have to build upon that, and it takes years, right?
Yeah.
And he did actually spend quite a long time, but then if you spend many years, you have no revenue, you're not making money. So he had to release at some point, and it didn't really hit the bar what people thought it would be, and it's missing a lot of those key features.
Yeah.
But throughout all these years, he's constantly adding patches, free patches and DLCs
Yeah.
Nice.
just to make it into a full game. And
Whoa.
people say that if you play the game now, it's literally what he promised.
Oh.
So he promised and he lived up to whatever he.
Sounds like he probably shouldn't have released it as a like a game, but like, you know, like how those online games work. I've been playing one recently called like Honkai Star Rail, where like basically they have a set universe, but they're like future expansions will come in the future.
But it's
kind of
hard
thing.
though, because his ambition was I'm not a software engineer, so I don't know how hard it is to program this in. But in order to visit like unlimited planets, you kind of have to code that in early, right? Because you're basically flying to a bunch of different places, and you need to know how big this world is. I don't know how the programming side, but I feel like something like that needs to be done early. Needs to be figured out first before you can actually add DLCs, because it's a lot harder to add patches in, because usually whenever you add
you got
DLC
patch at the very beginning and stuff as well,
whenever usually when there's patches, this is a common thing, whenever new updates come in, it always breaks something. And then that's when when they update and try to fix that one thing, it breaks another thing. It's just an ongoing thing. So they usually try to do it off the bat so it prevents breaking code.
So do you think that games these days are just way too demanding then, like for the studios to work on?
I think people's standard is too high. No, I think it's just the quality is going so high to the point it's getting to the very unrealistic route.
The ceiling.
Yeah, like it's good that we're keep pushing the bar, it's very, very good, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it means the games are getting more and more expensive. That's why the games are so expensive nowadays, to justify the amount of years they got to spend.
Actually, I remember pirating. What was that? That game that you were just talking about.
Diablo 2?
No, that one.
No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky. And it broke because one of the patches like ruined the beginning. But anyway, it was like I just pirated it, but it was like 80, 60 something gigabytes.
Yeah, it's a lot. And the thing is that whenever they keep adding like DLCs and stuff, the game
keeps adding to the memory.
And no one wants to download like a 200 gig game.
Yeah,
that's huge.
It's like you'll be playing this game in 2 days.
There you go. It's crazy. So I feel games it's good that they're being ambitious, but it's just getting too.
So, but like, do you think that, because you know how people now, they're like, just boycott pre-orders because they feel like after the developers see that there's so much pre-order demand that they feel the pressure to release by the date that they're given, even though they need more time. It's like, oh my gosh, like seriously, because that's why they're like saying is like, it's because so many people pre-ordered this game. You know, it's like developers are like, oh, just push it out. Who cares? We'll just patch it up later. Kind of.
I don't know if that's the problem. I think that goes more towards like marketing the higher ups. Like all this information, I have no idea, but I just know that it all comes down to they give you a timeline.
Yeah.
The studio, and if you're whoever's publishing the game, they are the one that gives you the timeline too, right? So if you're a studio and your game is being published by, let's say, EA, the people who are in the higher ups, they give you a timeline and say, this is your budget, this is how much time you have, and this is all you got.
Because they're also trying to catch the hype train.
They're trying to get a hype train, and it's in their end, it all comes down to business. Mm-hmm. They give you a time frame. If you can't hit that time frame, they're losing money. Right. They're giving you like millions of dollars to create a game.
Yeah.
And do they still want to continue to lose money? Mm-hmm. Like if you say, after 3 years, you give someone like $2 million.
Yeah.
And then that person or that studio is like, our game's not done yet. We need another like 2 years.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep funding the studio? That's a lot of money. So as a business standpoint, I totally get it. But I just think it kind of brings it back, like maybe the games are getting a bit too ambitious. So this is why I think live service games are in now, like Apex, Valorant, League of Legends, all that stuff. It's a lot more easier because you have the core game, it's just cosmetics, and you generate more money. But then I don't know if I really like live service games now because
just continuously rolling it out.
Yeah, because like I have friends who work at live service games, and the grind don't stop. You're working. You sell your soul away. Every day is crunch time. Because as soon as the update is released, they're already working on the next update. Oh. It doesn't stop. Like usually back then when you create a AAA game, you ramp up, crunch time. When the game is done, you have like couple months of like chill. That's when you usually people take time off, vacation for a couple months. Now you don't get any of that, you know, because we're trying to help everyone out there to get the skins you guys want. So working on a live service game sucks ass.
You would not do it.
I wouldn't do it because I'm at the point I don't want to work like crazy amount of hours. I don't want to sell my soul away. It's I think a work-life balance is really important, and apparently the bonus is really good though. Like I know if you work on Apex, it's pretty good. Yeah, but I'd rather work on AAA, like just a story game.
Yeah, like something that gets released and then again. Next year afterwards,
definitely not live service. Like but live service is very good because stability is there.
Yeah,
because it's an ongoing game. Unless people
stop playing
that genre, like but I feel like Fortnite and any first-person shooter is kind of still in, right?
Yeah, Fortnite's got so much money; they just do collabs everywhere.
Yeah, they're a big company, and they're by Epic too, so it's a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I mean,
playing games is cool too. If you play games nowadays, you're considered cool.
Yeah,
you're the cool kid. Back then, you play games,
you're a fucking nerd.
You're a nerd. You kind of have to hide that stuff. Yeah, but now anime is cool.
Anime's cool. K-pop
Video games is cool. Yeah, like everyone has a gaming PC after COVID. Like during COVID, everyone's like, I'm gonna build my own PC
with tons of fans and LEDs in there.
Yeah.
RGB boys.
And then graphic cards are super hard to get for like the longest time. I don't know if it is right now.
Oh yeah, no, they're a lot better now. But yeah, during COVID, it was just like skyrocketing prices
because everyone was buying it. Oh my god. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess there's only so much that we can just basically we pick and choose our games, right?
Yeah, and boycott the game. No, I'm just kidding.
Boycott the games.
No, I'm just kidding. But you know, if you definitely don't buy all those cosmetics because you're kind of supporting that, unless you do want to support it, then it's totally fine. But if you see it as an issue, don't buy it. You know, because developers do cater to whatever is happening. Like if it benefits them, they're like, okay, it's working. They just look at the money sign, I'll be honest. So as long as it makes revenue and they see like the money sign is like up here, they're like, okay, it's working because people are paying for it. So if you don't like it,
so next time you see like your favorite Twitch streamer, you know, continuously like gachaing on a game and it's a sponsored stream, just remember, it's not their money. They got sponsored for this.
Yeah, the company basically paid them the money.
Yeah, so they're rolling the money that the company gave them. So it's not their own. You can enjoy the spectacle, but don't think that you'll need to spend the equivalent or the same amount.
But the thrill though, the thrill of just like
the chance
endorphins. I know, just right when you're, am I gonna get that secret rare costume, that hat that I always wanted?
Just like Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
No, don't even get me started on Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
The unboxing.
We'll have to save that for another
time.
So I think we all agree boycotting works if you find a product that does not reach your standards.
Yeah, and then definitely don't buy a base game that's not complete because then you're kind of supporting that.
Yep. Like if you really want to be careful, wait, don't pre-order, read the reviews, and then make your own final decision.
Yeah. Like don't jump on the hype. Everyone jumps on the hype train nowadays.
Yeah.
As soon as one person plays it, everyone's like, oh my god, I need to get it. But then later people play for a couple of weeks and they're like, I'm done.
Yes.
That's a waste of money. Bro.
You can see this most prevalently on Twitch and YouTube streaming.
We have a few friends who do that too.
But yeah, let us know if you've been ever disappointed by a game or that you've pre-purchased or pre-ordered.
Yep.
If you felt it was necessary that you needed to pay to win it.
Yep. And what's your favorite game and what's your worst game that you played? That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. And so we're on all our social media is on our link tree. So we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple iTunes, TikTok, Instagram, all that. It'll be in the link below. And we'll see you in the next one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.